Okay, so part two shootout with the police. Part two shootout with the police. All right. So we in the interrogation room, but before we get to the interrogation room, I gotta backtrack a little bit and let y'all know something that I forgot and left out of the story on part one. But so when we was in the car, my cousin picked me up. He had the pistol with him, but because I'm not afraid of pistols and I'm used to seeing guns, when I get in the car with my cousin, he had the weapon with him. You know, I grabbed the weapon. It was a nickel-plated 9mm. You feel me? It was a nickel-plated. So when I say nickel-plated, that means it's metal. You know what I'm saying? It's not plastic. So this thing is all nickel-plated, right? So I grabbed the gun when we got in the car. I grabbed the gun. So I'm just touching out on the gun. Ooh, I ain't never seen one like this. You hear me? Extendo clip in it. Something this long sticking up out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I got my hands all on the gun. Prints all on the gun, right? So I didn't tell y'all that part. So we done had the shootout. Fast forward after the shootout and everything. And they got us to the jailhouse now. So they got us down at the jailhouse. 3 separate rooms. I'm in a cell, matter of fact, and the other guys in one cell, and they took my cousin in first. So in the cell that I was in, when they brought my cousin in, I seen them shackled up and everything, but I'm seeing blood pouring all out of them, right? So I'm nervous and scared because I'm looking at the little jail cell window, the little cell window or whatever, because I don't know what's going on. But when I see him walk my cousin in, they take him into an interrogation room, right? Okay, so the other two, me and the other guy, we waiting our turn to be interrogated because that's one of the tactics the police try to do. They gonna separate us because they want to get each individual story, because what they want to do is, that's a smart tactic, because they don't want our stories to line up. They trying to see, is anybody gonna say something that's different from what the other one said, and that's how they trap you up. So take my cousin to took about 30 minutes. Now it's my turn. So when I get ready to go in there, they asking me all kind of questions. They asking me for my side of the story. I gave them my side of the story, straight up what happened. You know, I just got home from a Marine Corps boot camp, got in the car with my cuz, we ride, a police got shot. That's the end of my story. I have nothing else to say, Mr. Officer. They gonna ask you the same question 32,000 times. See, this is the thing right here. And I got a live on my page, or a podcast on my page, dealing with Kevin Samuels telling the truth. One thing about when you telling the truth, it needs no validation. It ain't no backtracking. It ain't no, I gotta think about something. Because when you telling the truth, it is what it is. The crime that had been committed is human. The crime that had been committed is a police had been shot. So I have no business talking about anything else, because what happened was a police got shot. We know who shot the police. I ain't gotta say who shot the police. We already know. My cousin said he shot the police. There is no other crime. So when we were in the interrogation room, I said my side of the story, nothing more, nothing less. So when that happened, the police constantly hitting you with the same question, drilling, because they want you to trip up or slip up. But I have no reason to slip up, officer. There's nothing else to say. So after my interrogation, I go back in the cell. I'm resigned in my mind. Keep in mind, I'm resigned in my mind that I don't know what my cousin has said at this point. Now, I'm telling y'all, he did it and he held up for it. But at this point, I do not know that this man has held up for it, right? Because you never know in these situations what's going on. But I didn't know if he held up for it or not. But my prints is all on this weapon. So I'm laying in a cold jail cell with nothing, on a metal steel bed with no mattress or nothing. They hadn't gave me no mattress or nothing. But I ain't thinking about no mattress. I ain't thinking about no blanket. I ain't thinking about nothing. My mind is so numb. I have zero thoughts in my head. I'm thinking I will never get out to see nobody. I haven't had kids at this point or nothing. So I'm thinking my life is over. This is New Albany, Mississippi in 2006. I'm thinking my life is over. So I'm laying in that cell. All I could do was go to sleep. Go to sleep. And that reminds me of when Jesus was on the ship and the storm was tossing to and fro, and the disciples were scared. But if you've ever been in such a storm where all you could do was go to sleep, the power is out. You know what I'm saying? Your phone didn't get charged up before the power went out. So it's dark in the house. There ain't nothing you can do but go to sleep. So that's where my mind is. It's so dark that all I could do is go to sleep. So I had already resigned that this is it. This is my life. I'm going to go to the penitentiary over taking a ride, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You understand what I'm saying? So I go to sleep And I get woke up early in the morning, officer tap, 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 knock on the cell door. Hey, look, you got to get up. We finna take you somewhere. And I'm saying, what we finna take me? He said, we got to go see the DA. The DA? So I get ready to go see the DA, right? So they get me in this room. It's all the big wig officers, the chief detective, and you know what I'm saying, the DA and another officer, whatever. And my dad is in this room. I'm so ashamed to look at my daddy right now because I'm thinking, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm hurt. I'm embarrassed. I'm scared. And I'm in this room. And boom, first thing off the bat, they throw the clip on the desk. He said, son, we looked at your statement and see you was riding. You was just riding with your cousin. You just got home from Marine Corps boot camp. Tell me, what was y'all doing riding with something like this in the car? Did it not make you nervous? You said you was just riding with your cousin. Did it not make you nervous that your cousin is riding with something like this? I said, sir, listen, I grew up in North Memphis. Everybody's got a gun in North Memphis. It did not make me nervous, and it was not suspicious that my cousin had a weapon in the car. But he said, look at this clip, sir. This clip is this long in a 9mm gun. What are y'all doing riding around with something like this? I said, sir, I don't know. I just know he got a weapon. I mean, I can't help how long the clip is. Now, here's the kicker to the story of what was going on. The reason it was so many police riding deep in New Albany that night, it had been a fight in the subdivision where we had got pulled over. That's going to come into play later. I'm just letting y'all know. It had been a disturbance in the area earlier. And the two gentlemen that had gotten in a fight, the reason why the police was circling around, one of the men had made a threat that he had some people coming from Memphis to handle the other guy. We don't know nothing about this. We live in our own world. This is something happened totally separate. God is good. God had this happen for a reason, though. Because I probably would have done something that night that I shouldn't have done. But anyway, that's going to come back into play later. Remember what I said. The police riding around already hot because it had been a big major fight and disturbance in this same subdivision. And it just so happened a man made a threat that I got some guys coming from Memphis to handle you, sir. So it didn't help that my cousin came down with Memphis tags. This is why we got pulled over and we didn't know it. We had nothing to do with that, though. All right. So he said, your cousin had a computer in the back and some scales, some digital scales. I said, sir, this is the first that I'm hearing of this. I know nothing about digital scales. He said, what is he doing? He set the scale down. Boom. He put a paper clip on a scale. He said, what is he doing with a scale that can weigh a paper clip? I'm so green. I'm so numb. I couldn't answer the question right anyway. So I'm saying, sir, I don't know nothing about no computers. I don't know nothing about no scale. He said, listen, I'm going to be straight with you. I'm going to shoot straight with you. There was a disturbance tonight in that area that you was in tonight. And somebody said that somebody was coming down here from Memphis to handle something. He said, do you know this gentleman right here? No, sir. I'm not affiliated with this gentleman. Do you know this other gentleman, gentleman B? I do not know that, sir. I don't know that man, sir. I'm not, even though I did know the two individuals, but at this point, like I told you, I ain't saying no more than I need to say. I am scared for my life. So we sitting here at this table, and he said, sir, I'm going to ask you one more time. Was y'all coming down here to kill somebody? Because this is the type of weapon with an extendo clip. This is something that's used to kill somebody. I said, sir, I know nothing about a threat on anyone's life, nor did we have any intent to kill anybody. The detective looked me right in my eye and he said this. I should be a rich man, though, y'all. I'm telling you, I should be a real rich man. But I'm going to tell you what trauma will do to you. Trauma will freeze you. If you ever been so scared, you don't know which way is up and which way is down. So the man said, I believe you, son. He said, but if I find out any part of your story is untrue, we'll be coming for you. He said, but I believe your story. See, number one, I think that God had me lined up in the stars not to be in that situation. So I had just came home from boot camp. I had a couple things working for me. I had just came home from Marine Corps boot camp. Number two, my story was airtight because I told the truth of what I knew and I didn't give them no extra. That's why the people on First 48, they talk their way into a hole because I'm not going to say anything about anything that's not pertaining to this. Another thing the officer said, this is why I said I should have been rich. He said, don't blame us. Blame your cousin for this. And I did not understand what he was saying then. I could not understand why he would say that to me. But what he was saying was, see, what y'all don't understand is there was one shot fired from my side. But when they put in the newspaper, there were 28 bullet holes fired into that car. Now, there were 70 some odd shots total shot. But 28 of them was inside of that car. It's a miracle none of us were hit by none of those bullets. And see, why that's important is because you're not supposed to be shooting like that and there's no return fire. I understand there's an officer down, an officer has been shot. This is why they reacted and responded the way they did. But it was overkill. There was no shots being returned for you to empty out all those clips. Another thing that I want to tell everybody who's watching this: if we wasn't in a subdivision and people wouldn't have started coming out of their houses because of the shots being fired and the commotion, they would have killed us. If we was on the back road, this story would have never been told because they would have killed us. So let's get back to the right thing. So he said, if I ever find out anything wrong with your story, sir, I am going to come and get you. Part 3. Part 3 will be coming to you soon. I need so many likes. I need so many shares. I need so many comments. I need y'all to get this out here because I'm giving y'all my testimony about why God is good to me. Part 3 on the way.